Hare Krishna. Today we are going to be reading Chaitanya Charitamrit. We'll be reading the Madhya Khand on the 22nd chapter, 32nd verse. This Chaitanya Charitamrit is written by Krishnadas Kaviraj. And when Prabhupada came to the West in America and via the waterway. He also had visits to Columbus, two of the important states that I like, that are my favorite. One is Ohio, and he came to Columbus. He didn't stay though for a long period. He was there here for just 3 days in Columbus, and he came to Georgia also. The temple that was established there in memory of his visit is still there today, and this Chaitanya Charitamrita is written by Krishnadas Kaviraj, if I'm not wrong, and it is in language the Gaud Desh. The Gauda Desh is different from Radha Desh. So there is a difference between the two. Like after the split of the some states of India, so like this, these territories are named. We don't want to go into that detail. So we'll start reading. Before that, we'll do Mangalacharan. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद विलज्जमानै मानया यस्य स्थातुम् इच्छा पठेमुया विमोहिता विकथन्ते ममाहम् इति दुर्धिया. So this is Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya, and this is Bengali language. Village-Manaya ashamed, Yasya of whom the external illusory energy of Krishna, which is known as, I want somebody of you to tell me this. Who will tell what is it known as? Yes. It is always ashamed to stand in front of Krishna, just as darkness is ashamed to remain before the sunshine. However, that energy bewilders unfortunate people who have no intelligence. Thus, they simply boast that this material world is theirs and they are its enjoyers. It bewilders unfortunate people to that extent they become restless and they cannot understand that this material world does not belong to them and hence they are not its enjoyers. And there are many examples in the day to day life. You can relate to whatever because today, these days, it is Kali Yuga and everything has gone topsy turvy. Not a single thing is valid in any given time space. Somebody have this health issue, someone has that health issue, someone cannot eat this, someone cannot eat that, someone cannot read standing, someone cannot read sitting, someone cannot walk fast, someone cannot walk slow, someone cannot think rational, someone has problem thinking while walking, all these things. And the main about is the loss of focus and attention. What did you say? Come again, I did not understand. So one has to hear attentively, and one has to hear attentively. So these things will save them from many issues, and especially the health issues. I always talk about this, the medical insurance of the Western world, how much one has to pay. So if he is hearing properly, then I don't think such diseases should come. Anyway, wherever we are reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Khandu 22.32. The entire world is bewildered because people are thinking this is my land, America is mine, not knowing the real value of life. People think material body and the land where it is produced are all in all. Not knowing the real value of life, people think that material body and the land where it is produced are all in all. This is the basic principle behind nationalism, socialism, communism, any isms that you can think of. Such thinking, which simply bewilders human beings, is nothing but rascalism. This is the term rascalism because they are bewildered by such thinking, which simply bewilders the living being. It is nothing but rascalism. It is due to the darkness of this illusory energy. As soon as one becomes Krishna conscious, he is immediately relieved from such misconceptions. He is immediately relieved from such misconceptions. Now, the question is, every time they talk, as soon as one becomes Krishna conscious, what is that? One becomes, means, is it a destined that after a certain age group, when you will retire, you will become Krishna conscious? Or when somebody becomes, as soon as one becomes Krishna conscious, what does that mean? As soon as one becomes Krishna conscious, he just has to bring his attention. He has to be just attentive to what he's thinking. If he thinks that all the isms are for him and that exploitation at the peak is his birthright, then he will be shown the path to his destination, which is darkness. In darkness, what does a man do? He becomes insane. No one is with him. He thinks somebody is with him. He thinks. And it is not even his own shadow. One must know what is bewilderment. If you say, "This is my shadow," you can't even claim right over it. The shadow will not obey you. So, who's with that person? No one. This is bewilderment. No one knows about this. But thanks to the Shastras, which have thrown some light to the human race to think about what is bewilderment. Now, this verse is quoted from Bhagavatam 2.5:13. There is another appropriate verse which is to 747. Shashvat prashantam abhayam pratibodha matram शुद्धं समं सद असत परमात्मा तत्वं शब्दो न यत्र पुरुकारकवान् क्रियार्थो माया परेति अभिमुखे च विलज्जमाना तदवै पदं भगवत परमस्य पुंसो ब्रह्मेति यद विदुर अजस्त्र सुखम विशोकम. What is realized as the absolute Brahman is full of unlimited bliss without grief. What is realized as the absolute Brahman is full. What is it? Absolute. Absolute Brahman means absolute. One word of absolute is spiritual. One meaning of absolute is spiritual. What is the other meaning of absolute? Not the maths, where you say the absolute value of this is what absolute value of this is, the absolute value of this is, absolute value of that is. No, what is realized as absolute Brahman is full of bliss without any grief. The bliss, what is the nature of the bliss? It is unlimited. Now, what does unlimited? The unlimited means if you think this pen is having a, I can write with this pen. Now I want to write 100 pages book with this pen. But there is a limit. If the ink gets over, if the ink is over, this, you cannot write 100 pages. With 50 pages, you will stop. Then you will think, oh, I wish if the pen was made with a refill, with a refill of the same quantity, and then I can write another 50 pages. So like this I calculate. So this calculation is become a part of life. So because of this habit, one cannot trust on the right things that are meant for him, and he fails the to and acknowledge the he fails to acknowledge the credibility of good things that are in store for him, and he thinks exploitation is the only destination. He thinks and he believes like that due to bewilderment. And once one is bewildered, he will continue to do wrong things, wrong acts, and he will harm himself to a greater extent. In being in company with such people is also very dangerous. Being in company with such people is very dangerous. They will never let you and get to the right understanding. And because they're all already committed offenses, Krishna has left them. So they will not get any intelligence to surrender to Krishna, to know about Krishna. They like the bewildered state all the time. because in darkness they can do whatever they like against the laws of Shastra. Just as suppose you're not supposed to be eating more than required, and if you eat, then the material nature itself, punishes. Your enzymes will be disturbed, your hormones will not secrete properly because eating, if there is no place in your stomach and you're eating, then how it will go in your stomach? It will get full. So it is said, eat only, leave your empty stomach empty, one fourth part of your stomach empty. Don't eat up to the neck. Eating up to the neck is for different people. Devotees don't eat up to the neck. Okay, so that is certainly the ultimate. Now, bliss and without grief, unlimited bliss. Now, the ink is over in the pen, then you think like this. So, we are subjected to this calculative nature since eternity, and because of this nature, we are not able to surrender to Krishna. This calculative nature is so dangerous and harmful that when there is a need of surrender and acknowledging the need, if you surrender immediately, you will become Krishna conscious. But the need to surrender because of ego is not identified. It's not that I should have so many things, I should have that many things, I should have a beautiful body, I should have an intelligent body, then only I can surrender. No, the Lord's srishti is different. The moment you realize that you feel the need to surrender, you are on the path already. But you don't feel the need to surrender. Why? Because you are busy lording over the material nature that is not meant to be lorded over. And why is that? And the Lord does not like such attitude. So he is far away from such people. Krishna bado daya mein, daya ka prakat hogi. This is the question people ask. Poor people, they don't know. So they, Bhagwan kab daya karenge? They say like that. Bhagwan kab daya karenge? So the material nature is not to be lauded over at all. And it is the Prakriti, it is the separated energy of the Lord. Why? Because it is not controlled by the Lord. He has given it at the discretion of the people, and those people are not using it for Krishna, so they are offenders. They are stealing from the Lord's world. Now you'll say, this is Lord is not concerned with this. He just made this, and he is detached, and he has nothing to do whether the sun is destroyed, the sky falls down, or the planets are clashing each other. Jupiter clashes with Saturn and whatever. He has nothing to do. There are catastrophes, there are so many climatic conditions, but he has nothing to do with it. Why will he do? It's happening because of its own nature. Just as after certain period of time, things happen on its own. When you put a switch on, then your lamp glows, and if the filament bursts in between, then the light is destroyed. So on its own, they decay and end cause end to their functioning. But then, human being, is he supposed to be always like this? That somebody will, he will eat. In the worst case, he'll keep on eating and eating and eating because he's alone and no one stops him, and he feels there is great joy in chewing and eating and all. But uh, even if nobody is restricting him and he's alone eating and chewing, but this habit of his, if an enemy knows, then what that enemy will do? He will use that and chew in the air. The demons of the Kali Yuga are like that. They do not have any power of their own. They function on the basis of the devotee's power or other human beings' power. So they use his energy, they know his habits, and they make a fake dummy human being kind of structure, and they also literally imitate every action of that human being as if he's chewing the food, and they know what effect it will produce, or even if they don't know, they will see what can be induced and corrupted to that human being. That is how they function. And once this becomes their habit, and if somebody is sleeping and he doesn't know this is the nature of the harassment that I have to go through, then that jiva soul suffers since suffers for eternity until someone comes and helps him. He can be aware that somebody is hurting him and ending him, but somebody should come and help him. So that is required, and that is the need to associate. That is for the spiritual life. When a man or a human being in particular, if he feels the need to communi- communicate and live in a community, and then he feels the need to get married and settle, so all these things are there, but knowing the subjective nature of the world, and then the imposed objectiveness, the human being should think for a higher goal. So absolute Brahman is certainly the ultimate phase of the supreme enjoyer, the personality of Godhead. Ultimate phase of the supreme enjoyer. This is certainly the ultimate phase of the supreme enjoyer, the personality of Godhead. He is eternally devoid of all disturbances, fearless, completely conscious as opposed to matter. He is eternally devoid of all disturbances. He is eternally devoid of all disturbances, fearless, completely conscious as opposed to matter, uncontaminated, and without distinctions. He is eternally devoid of all disturbances, fearless, completely conscious as opposed to matter. He is complete conscious as opposed to matter, uncontaminated, and without distinctions. He is the principal primal cause of all causes and effects, and whom there is no sacrifice for fruitive activities, and in whom the illusory energy does not stand. He is the principal primal cause of all causes and effects, in whom there is no sacrifice for fruitive activities, and in whom the illusory energy does not stand. This verse was spoken by Lord Brahma when he was questioned by Naradji. Narad was surprised to see the creator of the universe meditating, for this indicated there might be someone greater than Lord Brahma. So, while answering the great sage Narad, Lord Brahma described the position of this illusory energy, of this illusory energy. Okay? The external illusory energy of Krishna and the bewildered living entities. The position of the external illusory energy of the Lord and the bewildered living entities and the bewildered living entities. So this verse was spoken in that connection. Brahma is describing it to the sage Narad. What is he describing? The position of the illusory energy and the bewildered living entities. This was spoken in that connection. So, why are the bewildered entities? Who are the bewildered entities? Those who think that this material world belongs to them and they are its enjoyers. So, they are the bewildered entities. So, this is mine. So, I can use it the way I like. This is yours. But the time is under the control of the supreme aspect of the existence, and it may be varying depending on how they want to enjoy. If I want to enjoy, then I will deny that there is anything called as Shastra and Shastric rules. So I will not get scared and I'll continue to enjoy. But if I know there is a law in the Shastra, then I will not violate any of this laws because one will be punished. And then someone may say, what the hell, the punishment? Let me go ahead. Then it is his choice to stay bewildered. And such people can do nothing in life. They try to lord over an illusion and then they get great blow. And once they get great blow, then the real entertainment sets in. The real entertainment sets in. And such people do not have, because there are so many animals, they die on the road. They're just, a car comes on the interstate highway. If a deer is crossing, even a deer is not spared. There's this car that is speeding and it will just hit the deer, and the deer will be, he loses life. On the highway, who will want to slow down? The speed is so high and you're supposed to keep going, and you can even increase. There's no restriction because the lanes are so designed. And at such time, if a poor creature happens to cross not knowing their car is speeding, then it will perish. So then, first of all, this, why does this happen? Does one do consciously? They do not do consciously. They are bewildered due to practice. And this bewilderment due to practice is a thing which does not wake a human being until he is pained to know why is he suffering. So you are suffering. This knowledge comes with through shastras. So one must read shastras and understand, oh, I'm suffering. This world is devouring me, not I am devouring the world. So I'm not the enjoyer. So nothing is in my control. When one knows that I have no power, everybody has ditched me, what happens to him? He feels he's being exploited and he thinks, now what's the point in living like this? I can't exploit, nobody is attending to me, nobody is appreciating me. Then I will do something more dangerous than this. This is the resort they take to, because by then their mentality is become hellish. They cannot distinguish between the right and wrong. They think, because nobody is supporting me, now I must assume the position of Hiranyakashipu. How he did, I will do the same. The concept of surrendering and appreciating a higher power, which could be noble in cause, does not occur to that brain, dull brain, because he's in a bewildered state. So, for such people, Brahma is telling to Naradji, he's describing the position of the illusory energy of the Lord and describing the state of the bewildered living entities. So, why to worship demigods? You should know what they can give. They cannot give anything. Brahma himself is looking at the jiva souls, human beings like this, that they are bewildered by the illusory potency of the Lord. So, what are they doing in that? They are lording over the nature. The Brahma is speaking to Naraji. And why Brahma Krishna Haiti Chaturma? Hoy Krishna Sevanma. Hmm? Krishna Haiti Chaturma. Hoy Krishna Sevanma. So he's explaining this. One is immediately freed from the clutches of Maya if he seriously, sincerely says, Lord, I've forgotten you for so many years, long years in the material world. Today I'm surrendering to you. I'm your sincere, serious servant. Please engage me in your service. If he seriously and sincerely, hmm, ek bar means once, not that once. Once in 10 days, once in a month, once in a year. It is not once. Once means serious and sincere. This feeling will not come to you because you are supporting anti devotional and anti human acts. So, when you support anti human and anti devotional acts, the very nature by its own accord harms you as a person, your individual, and you may lose all your strength. Once you lose all your strength, then you cannot think of anything good. You will always think in the negative and darkness. So, even though it may look like you are progressing or you're satisfied, you're well to do, you don't need anyone, you are complete in your own self, and you have nothing to worry about. But already, because of your very conditions, whatever they may be, you are in darkness and you continue to remain so. So, the concept of life is very different for different people. Not all people would relate to the concept of life as one should, as mentioned in the Shastras. They prefer to remain in darkness and stay bewildered. They don't want to take the risk to find out something that may be in store for them, which is good because they are bewildered. They are also under fear. The fearlessness is far away from them. So once you get bewildered, the fear sets in, and the fear does not let one surrender to the Lord. And it may seem he will fool himself that I am doing deity worship, I am doing prasadam, I am doing boga arti, offerings, I am plucking flowers from the garden, offering it to the deity. All these things he may think I am doing very nicely. But he doesn't feel the need to ask any person in confidence, do you think I'm a devotee at all? Mahaprabhu's dialogues are there. They read Chaitanya Charitamrita, but in life they don't bring it in their life. They don't bring it in their life at all. They read it very mechanically. Otherwise, Chaitanya Charitamrita is a very beautiful dialogue and setup. So Chaitanya Charitamrita has to be studied in a group of 4 or 5 people. And like this, they should continue to progress and chant. Then their life will be fruitful. So you have to ask these questions. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. We'll come to it later. So this Chaitanya Charitamrita is a very beautiful Shastra book, and it is very full of nectar. So they are discussing every aspect of the Lord's world and which can be offered to the Lord. We have not seen Lord, but the Shastras are there, it means the Lord is there. The suffering is there, that is why Lord is there. It's not like that. The suffering is there because the knowledge of Lord is absent. Why? The knowledge of the Lord, that He's so self sufficient, He doesn't exploit. He doesn't have to be a servant of His tongue, just as a human being is. After every seconds and all, He want to taste some new things. Who is giving the desire? Where does the desire to taste new thing comes from? The taste, Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, what is his form in the material world? He is the taste in the beauty. So where are you searching for the cause? कहाँ ढूंढ रहे हो तुम? So Krishna is the taste in the water. Krishna says he's the taste in the water. So I'm having water bottle. I'll drink water. So if once he feels that he wants to surrender, once means with sincerity and seriousness. Seriousness, why one should be serious, why can't be casual? Because the tendency is so ingrained that it doesn't stop. If today if you exploit, then if you feel you want to surrender and you're serious, then you have to always surrender after that. It's not that once I felt like doing the surrender. Surrender is not an act. Surrender is not an act. Surrender is offering from the heart to the Lord that yes, you told in the Shastras about the state of a jiva, that he is a Nitya Das and his duties. And you have also explained to the baffled people on the battlefield what is their duty and responsibility, and why is that